So right now, inflation has trickled down a little bit. However, if it goes higher, then that's the trifecta. So in its nutshell, stagflation would be a slowing or decreasing GDP with little or no growth, high unemployment, and high inflation, the triple whammy. And it's very dangerous.
So how did we get here? How does stagflation happen?
You know, it's a tough one to control. We could blame it on different things if we chose to. Maybe the tariffs are doing this or this is doing that. But at the end of the day, the issue with stagflation is how hard it is to control if it arrives. Because think about this, the tools you would use to help fix one part of the problem hurts the other plate. So you have these three spinning plates. So think about it this way. If you had high unemployment, okay, so unemployment's bad, maybe we would lower interest rates, and lower interest rates can cause companies to be able to borrow more at a cheaper rate, which will allow them to expand. Well, that's really good because now unemployment goes down. However, lowering interest rates makes inflation go up. So wait, that's not good. We can't do that one. So this is why it gets so balancing. Which one do you attack first and to try to solve stagflation? And that's where it gets really tricky.
So, okay, yeah, it's so tricky. I mean, a lot to break down here. What are the warning signs of stagflation?
Well, we've got one going on right now, the GDP slowing down.
Right.
That could be a potential warning sign. And then what about if we do start seeing more layoffs? Well, that would be a warning sign. Or if we see inflation start to trickle up. Well, think about it. Inflation could very well start to trickle up. It's come down. Gas prices are lower. Some things are good. But the tariffs can cause prices to go up, etc. And that slows down the spending because things cost more. It slows down the manufacturing because bringing the goods in to produce something might cost more. Less demand, layoffs. So it's like the trifecta. And will this happen? Well, nobody knows. One of the best examples of this happening was in the 70s when you had the out-of-control gas prices, high unemployment. Remember the gas lines at the pumps and all that? That was a classic example of stagflation, and we certainly don't want to see that again.
Are we in stagflation now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But we are certainly considering it and looking at it. It has to be looked at, especially with today's news of the GDP slowing, and not even slowing, going down.
Right. So what can we do then in the position we are with our own finances? How do we protect ourselves?
This is where it really comes in, because the reality is we can worry about all this stuff. I don't think we were created to worry about all this stuff. We need to worry about the impact to us. So what should we do? As we always like to say, if there's an opportunity or a way that you can become a better employee to the company you currently work at, I would absolutely suggest you do it. Ask for extra work, because if there's going to be layoffs, you don't want to be the one being laid off. So be the star employee. Set yourself up with an emergency fund. Let's get rid of the credit card debt. Even if interest rates fall a little bit, which I really think the Fed's behind on, I think they should come down some. I know it could cause inflation to go up a little bit, I get it, but I would bring interest rates down. But even with them coming down, high interest credit card debt is not coming down. You want to get out of that stuff.
Right.
Think about and consider if you're having trouble making the end of the month budget, making it work. The money coming in, the money going out, they're kind of not equaling out. Consider other employment. Think about some of these gig jobs. They're not permanent jobs, the deliveries, the Ubers, all the different things to create more money coming in to put yourself in a better position if in fact it does get harder for a while.
All right. Are you still optimistic?
I really am. This is a very tricky situation. But as we talked about once before about tariffs and stuff, it's going to get messy before it gets way better. We just hope it doesn't get so messy that we actually enter into stagflation, see high unemployment, see high inflation come back. We don't want that. No one does.
Yeah.
Could it happen? Yeah, it could, but a lot of things could happen. We don't worry about what may or may not happen. Take care of yourself. Put yourself in a position that allows you to win no matter what markets and economy and other things do. And you do that by paying down your debt, having an emergency fund, and making sure you're a star employee at whatever company you work at.
Out of those three things, what we can do now, what would you say if someone needs to get started? They're panicked, they're overwhelmed, and they want to be proactive but don't know where to go.
Create extra money in your emergency fund. Do it right now. How do you do that? Go have a yard sale. go get extra money. Go ask for extra hours at work. Go ahead and be the person. Your friends aren't doing this, and you be the oddball that is. Start developing an emergency fund first. Always do that before you pay down the credit cards, because it's been my experience, you get the credit card paid off, you have no emergency fund, the refrigerator breaks, now you're back to using the credit cards. Right. So have the emergency fund first, and then tackle that debt and do it as creatively as you can. There is places to work. You can find the extra money. Don't believe the ones that say you can't, you can't, you can't. They're right. They can't. You can.
All right. How many months worth of salary or
at least
expenses?
3. I personally want to have 6, but at least 3.
All right. Well, Mark Henry, good advice as always. Thank you for your insight. Carlene, we're going to have a garage sale or something. We're going to create that extra money soon. Mark and Henry from Alloy Wealth, appreciate your visit.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, anytime. Thank you. You are watching Live Impact News here on WCNC Plus. Great conversation there on stagflation. After hearing word now that the U.S. economy has taken a major hit, 0.3%. On the GDP.